Hey everybody, Pete, Steve, Sean, and Eric here in the Wilderness Lodge outside Artist Point. I'm going to go check out the new Storybook dining with Snow White, Dopey, the Evil Queen, and the Grumpy. Let's see if this is any better than what Artist Point used to be. We were hoping. So let's go check it out. Okay, so we've been seated and we've actually gotten our appetizers. But let me just say that the redesign of the inside of this restaurant is beautiful. They've added these trees, so you kind of feel like you're in the forest. The Evil Queen is over in the corner for a photo op. You've got Snow White, Grumpy, and Dopey walking around doing character interactions. So really just like on spec, the restaurant has a much, much different feel to it now than it did when it was Artist Point. I mean, it's still Artist Point, but now it's this, so they've changed it. And we just got our appetizers. Now, appetizers are served family style. So you have, can I have the menu? So I can speak to it intelligently? Sorry, Steve.
It's okay.
The shared appetizers, which are done on a Lazy Susan. You start out with a winter squash bisque. It says a caramel lollipop comes with it, but it's actually a little marshmallow lollipop and a granola. A hunter's pie, which is chicken, black truffle, and stone fruit preserve, and a wicked shrimp cocktail, which is soy, miso, avocado, Thai chili, and greens. I don't eat seafood, so I didn't try the shrimp. I will tell you the hunter's pie I was not impressed with. It was dry, and these are extremely small portions. You get one small portion for each person at the table, so it really very limited. I will say the winter squash bisque, though, was excellent. I really just wish there was more of it. So I think this is going to be a problem that it's too limited with the appetizers. They need to bring out more. Now, possibly they will. If you ask, we didn't. I haven't. But that, to me, is like, that was not nearly enough to justify an appetizer. That was whatever below appetizer is. But like I said, the squash was very good.
Okay. First of all, I actually got drinks. Some of the alcoholic drinks. I got the Enchanted Apple. It is Sky Citrus Vodka, De Kuyper, I don't know what that is, Pucker Sour Apple, and white cranberry juice. Essentially, I mean, it's a vodka cranberry, essentially, but it looked very, very cool. I got it for the gays, and I was like, this is a really good drink. And I also got the Smoking Mirror, which is a Johnny Walker Black, wildberry, lime, and a rosemary smoke. It was very, very cool. They brought it in like a flipped over glass, and the smoke came out. It smelled like if you like put out a candle kind of thing, and it's actually a shot more so than it is a drink. So definitely, and it is very, very strong. So I recommend that. Both were really good. And then for the appetizers, like they had said, it was like on a Lazy Susan as a family style. I thought the squash bisque I actually liked pretty good. It says winter squash bisque, so I assume that's going to be a seasonal thing. The hunter's pie, they didn't like the hunter's pie, but I really enjoyed it. I thought that it was really good. I did get what Pete was saying about it being dry, and I don't think it was dry. I think it was very doughy, like it was really cakey, almost like it was under, like maybe they put too much dough or flour, essentially, and like cooked it not enough time to get that done, but I still thought it was really good. And the wicked shrimp cocktail, just absolutely nothing. Like it just was shrimp and like lots of spinach on top of it and like greens, and that was all. Like it had nothing going on, so not really sure where we got that. So, but overall, I think the appetizers are good. I like that they're a small bite size because I don't like being too full before my meal comes, and I think it's an appropriate size of food for the average American person to be eating before their main meal.
Hi, everyone. So for the drink that I chose, I had the Evil to the Core, which consists of Patron Silver Tequila, habanero, black pepper, and orange juice. And overall, I thought it was a really good drink. The flavors were very balanced, and I really enjoyed drinking it. I did think it had a little bit too much orange juice for my preference. I don't really prefer sweet cocktails, so that might just be a personal preference, but it was a pretty balanced drink, and I enjoyed it. Now for appetizers, we had some really good appetizers that I really enjoyed eating. I know Pete and Steve didn't enjoy the hunter's pie, which was a small meat pie, but I thought it was really good and had a lot of rich flavor in it, which I preferred. A lot of times meat pies, they're just kind of flat. They have meat and dough, and that's about it. But I thought that the hunter's pie was really rich and had some deep flavor, which I enjoyed. My second favorite was the winter squash bisque, which was really good. It had a marshmallow lollipop and a little bit of granola on top. I thought the bisque overall was really rich and deep and sweet. You got the sweetness from the squash, which I really enjoyed, and it was really creamy and just kind of decadent, and I really enjoyed that. And then the Wicked Shrimp Cocktail was really my least favorite thing, I think, overall. I didn't really think it fit with the menu or the theme of the restaurant, and it seemed kind of like it was slapped together. I mean, the shrimp was fine, the ingredients were fine. It's a fine appetizer, but just not what I preferred, and I didn't think it really fit with the theme of the restaurant.
For the appetizers, I wasn't really a big fan. The shrimp were standard shrimp, nothing amazing. There was nothing to dip them in. So I don't know, it felt kind of lazy. It just felt like they thought of two ideas, and then they were like, well, and shrimp are an appetizer too, so we'll just have that. The hunter's pie, I agreed with Pete. I thought it was kind of dry. There wasn't a lot of meat. It was like smaller. It was about the size of a silver dollar, so it was, bite size. And the butternut squash soup, I enjoyed as well. I don't think I liked it as much as everyone else, but I didn't think it was bad. I thought it was good. The running theme, like everyone else has kind of mentioned, is the sample size. They're like basically hors d'oeuvres. They're like super small size portions. Yeah, I think that they're going to get some guest complaints about that. So I don't know. It wasn't my favorite start to the meal. For the drink, I got the Alchemy for $12.50. It is a gin vodka combination with lime, agave, and cucumber. It tastes really fresh, and I think it's like a really nice drink to start the meal with. Nothing amazing, not like my new favorite cocktail at Walt Disney World, but definitely I enjoyed it a lot. So overall, wasn't thrilled with the appetizers, but I do enjoy my drink.
Okay, for my main course, I got the Magic Mirror Slow Braised Veal Shank. This is with celery root mashed, wilted wintergreens, and a Cabernet reduction. Although it says a jus sauce in here, this was a Cabernet reduction. A much, much better choice for this than a jus sauce. This was one of the best veal shanks I've ever had. It was incredibly tender. You just touched the fork to it and it fell apart. Very flavorful, perfectly prepared. Great to fit with the theme of this restaurant. It was just a very, and for the season too. It just is a perfect dish. The waiter was telling us that this will be a seasonal menu that will change throughout the year. So that's a good thing. I also have to say that the face characters here are unbelievable. Snow White and the Evil Queen are so perfectly cast. Really, really good. So I'm very happy with my main course. This is a big improvement over what Artist Point was just a few months ago.
So for my main course, I got Bashful's Butter Poached Snapper. And that comes with root vegetable risotto, wild mushroom, and a citrus butter sauce. It was really good. The fish itself wasn't worth coming back to the restaurant for. I wouldn't go out of my way to go get it. But the vegetable root risotto is worth coming to the restaurant for. It was so good. That didn't sound. I love risotto anyway. And they do a really great job with it. Disney doesn't necessarily always do a great job with risotto, so this definitely is one of the better ones that I've had at Disney property. It was really saucy for the fish, so you kind of like lost the fish because it's just completely covered in sauce. And they threw that same spinach thing from the appetizer with the shrimp into this as well, so it kind of had that similar thing going on, which I don't think is a huge addition to anything. But overall right now, I think it's a really great, it's a great meal, and I love what they've done with the restaurant over what used to be regular Artist Point. So
I got the Brothers Grimm roasted chicken with potatoes, Brussels sprouts, apples, and chestnut butter. The chicken was all right. I thought it was tender and moist, but there wasn't a lot of flavor. It was... Unfortunately, it lacks seasoning, and it needed something more to it. And I think it really could have improved if they, added a little something to the chicken to give it a little bit, boost the flavor a little bit. But the real winner was everything else on the plate: the potatoes, the Brussels sprouts, there's like a creamy sauce on top of everything. It really made the dish. It made me happy with my choice, even though the chicken was just okay, because the Brussels sprouts especially were outstanding. I like my Brussels sprouts really charred, and they were perfectly that. So if you don't like overly cooked Brussels sprouts, you might not like it, but it was perfect for me. This wasn't a stellar chicken dish, but the dish in general was good. So if you're just excited about the chicken and you usually push aside everything else, you might be a little disappointed because the chicken wasn't the real winner here.
Okay, time for the nitty-gritty. The main course I had was the Royal Prime Rib Roast, and that had horseradish mashed potatoes, a hay-smoked carrots, popover, and a jus sauce. And altogether, I thought the prime rib was very good. It was buttery. It was cooked correctly. It had a lot of good flavor with the jus and the actual cut of meat itself. The horseradish mashed potato, I understood what they were trying to do. Prime rib is typically served with horseradish, and I usually enjoy trying, inventive and creative flavors, but I didn't really like it in my mashed potatoes. That's just my personal preference, but one of my least favorite things that I could not stand with this meal was the hay-smoked carrots. I thought they were smoked too long, the flavor was too strong, and it really kind of stuck in your palate, so you're kind of tasting a smoked flavor for the rest of your entree, which I didn't really enjoy. And I also had a popover, which was good. I think all in all, the prime rib was well done, but I think the sides left something to be lacking.
Okay, so dessert is served in the same style as the appetizers. So a selection of 4 each of 3 different desserts is put on the Lazy Susan. They are Miner's Treasure, which is a sponge cake, chocolate gems, and a buttercream icing. The Fairy Tale Gooseberry Pie, which is meringue and gooseberry. The Poison Apple, a white chocolate apple mousse and a sour center. And then there's another one on here which we did not... Oh, here it comes now. I guess this is the Hunter's Gift to the Queen. You want to videotape that, Steve? And this is a crackled maple popcorn with a ganache heart. Okay, so you just saw the Hunter's Gift to the Queen. It's a whole big presentation. It's an awful lot of presentation for some caramel corn and a little heart-shaped chocolate candy. I thought the desserts were good. The gooseberry pie, by far my favorite. They said it was a meringue on top of it, but it tasted more like a marshmallow sort of thing. Like a marshmallow sort of frosting. And then the gooseberry was very tart, and that combination of the sweet and the tart was really, really good. And it had a nice graham cracker crust to it. It was by far my favorite of the desserts. But yeah, I'll go with that. I'll go with the gooseberry pie being my favorite.
Okay, for desserts, my personal favorite was the gooseberry pie. I thought it was really tart. It was spicy. It had a really good flavor. It came with, as Pete described it, a marshmallow meringue type situation, which I understand it served its purpose to kind of contrast the tartness of the gooseberry. I'm just not a big fan, but I thought the gooseberry on its own was really, really good. My next favorite was the Miner's Treasures, which is essentially a sponge cake and buttercream icing layered trifle. And I thought I was really surprised by that one because I'm not a big fan of cake, and I never really look forward to it, and I don't really get excited about cake, but I thought that was really, really well done. It tasted really good. It was moist, and the buttercream filling was really great as well. The poison apple was a white chocolate apple mousse with sour center, and to me that was just okay. I could take it or leave it.
Okay, so for dessert, obviously we had what everyone's already described, so I won't go back through it too much. The gooseberry pie was really, really good. Even before I realized that this was a family style thing, I was looking at the menu thinking I'll get the gooseberry pie because that's what Snow White's going to make in the movie. So I was like, I need to try what that is. I've never had a gooseberry, but it was really good. They're very tart. They're very sour, apparently. And so if you like a tart, soury, warm fruit kind of dessert, it's a really good option. The Miner's Treasure is kind of, it's like kiddish, I guess, but I thought it was really good. I think it's something like you would get at like whatever your local bakery cupcake is kind of going to be. So it wasn't too much of a thing. The poison apple, I liked it okay. It was really sour, it was like red sour apple mixed with white chocolate, and it was very soft. It was an odd mix of stuff to eat, but I thought it was really good, and I think it's something that some people will just kind of like, and then also people who want to seem like they're really cool will like. And then the Hunter's Gift to the Queen was the caramel popcorn and the candy hearts that were together. The caramel corn was kind of old, I guess, so it was like, when you bite into old popcorn and it's got that like texture to it, so it kind of had that going on. But overall, I think this is a great meal. It's a huge step up from what Artist Point was. With the travel agency, I get a lot of requests for Artist Point. I don't usually understand what the fuss is about because I don't think it was that great of a restaurant, but I think this is a big step up personally. Even beyond that, I'm not a massive Snow White fan. That's definitely not one of my top 50 Disney movies. So, but it ended up being really good, and I actually would still recommend coming here, even if you're not into that, because the Snow White was amazing. The Evil Queen looks really cool. I love that that's the meet and greet you get, because it's so rare that you get to meet villains in a really good setting. And I think this restaurant is necessary, I guess, because it is the first Disney film, and it is so beloved and everything, that this is a great step, and I don't see why there wasn't a Snow White restaurant a long time ago.
I think there's general agreement on the desserts. The gooseberry pie, I think, was hands down everyone's favorite. It was definitely my favorite. I thought it was delicious. I wish I could get that in a larger portion. Similar to the appetizers, these are very small portions. The little cake thing was good. I didn't like it quite as much as everyone else, but it was fine. I think it was probably my least favorite. And the little sour apple was also very good, very tart, very sour, but again, very small. So I think if I could have more of these or have a bigger portion, I think I'd be a little bit more satisfied. And I wish, again, I think next time when I come, I would just ask my server, hey, all I need is maybe a couple gooseberry pies, and I'll be set with that. So, overall, I enjoyed this meal. It wasn't my favorite thing at Walt Disney World, but I think it was good. I think it's definitely, from what I've heard, I wasn't at Artist Point previously, but it does seem like a step up. So, that's great. And I think it was a good meal.
All right, so we are done with our meal, and I'm going to tell you, in my opinion, this was $55 for adults, $33 for children 9 and under. The quality of the food, the quality of the service, the quality of the character interaction, this is a great deal, a great deal. Do they have some room to improve on, some things? Sure, they do, but first of all, the food is a lot better than it was prior to this overhaul. For that price, the character interaction, this is a hot ticket. What do you think, Steve?
I enjoyed it a lot. I think everything I had was good or better than good. I think the only thing that was disappointing was the sample sizes of the appetizers and the desserts. But you could order more, I understand.
You can order more.
But I don't know.
Check that out with the server.
I would rather just have a bigger portion presented to me to begin with, instead of having to hassle with getting your server down and getting their attention to get it again. It's not that it's that big of a deal. It's just a minor inconvenience.
Whine about everything.
Well, I don't know. It's not that it's that big of a deal. It's just a little minor inconvenience.
What about you, Sean?
I think it's a huge improvement over Artist Point. Even when Pete had said we're going to Artist Point, I was like, because it's not one of my favorite restaurants, but it's pretty. But I think what they did was really, really good. I enjoyed the food a lot. I think that it is food that when I was a kid I wouldn't have wanted to eat it at all, just because I wasn't a Sunday dinner kind of person, and a lot of the stuff there is pot roast and there's fish, those kind of things. It's very family home, you get home from church and cook whatever mom cooks kind of thing, and which I enjoy now, but as a kid I would not have liked this at all. So I would look at the menu for the kids' sake of things. But as far as character dinings go, I think that Disney drops the ball a lot on character dining, just because they don't offer good quality foods a lot of the time. I mean, it is nice to get to have character dining and something more than tater tots or whatever things to be dipped in sausages, which is great. I like tater tots.
But like I pointed out, this is the same price as Hollywood and Vine.
Which is crazy. That is crazy.
You're right.
I just want to point that out.
Yeah.
That Hollywood and Vine and this are the same price. Oh my God, this is so much better.
Yeah, I do like that this is in a resort also, so it's nice to have character dining right here at Wilderness Lodge. I think that's something that was very much missing, because this is still a deluxe resort, and it's something that should be in there, just like at Grand, just over at the Grand or over at Contemporary or Polynesian as well. So I think that's another good point, and it's something great as an addition because of them opening the new DVC villas and everything. So this resort houses a lot more people now, so they need more things like this.
Eric, what do you say?
I thought this place was beautiful. I thought the setting was really romantic. It was really rustic. You felt like you were in a storybook, and that really hit home for me. I thought that was a great way to begin the kind of dining experience. I thought the food was pretty good, but it had room for improvement, kind of like what Pete said. I think that's a great way to generalize.
Honestly,
it was good. It could have been better.
Like my veal, there's no room for improvement there.
Yeah.
That was outstanding.
The veal was great.
That was outstanding. But
it was the smoky carrots for me. My side had smoky carrots, and they were it was like eating smoke. They were way over smoked, so that just kind of killed it for me. But it was a really great experience. I thought the characters were amazing. The setting was beautiful, so I had a great time.
This meal for $55 a person on Disney property, without the characters, I would have been happy with this.
True. Yep.
Okay, so there you have it. That's our review of the new Storybook Dining at Artist Point at Wilderness Lodge. And we know what we didn't do. Scale of 1 to 10. Eric.
I'd give it 8.
Sean?
For a lot of different reasons, I'll give it a 9.5. I think it's because it's in a deluxe resort. I think because it's something necessary. It's something that's being added so much to something that really needed an overhaul. And I think what they added was really great. I don't know that they can maintain it, because Disney sometimes comes out of the gate with something really great, and then they slowly scale back what they do, just because when they realize we're undercharging or we're that kind of stuff. But I think for right now, that's the score I would give it. Try it again in a year.
Yeah,
and we'll see.
I'm going to give it a 9. I think 9.5 is really generous. 9, but it's a soft 9. It's a soft 9. think it could definitely use some improvement, and I see a lot of places where this, as Sean was just mentioning, where it could end up going off the rails, and the quality could go down if it becomes popular. It's kind of what happened to Be Our Guest.
Yeah.
So, but I'm going to give it a 9 right now. Steve?
I'm going to agree with Eric and say an 8. But I think to give
Eric's not even in the shot right now.
Yeah. To bump it up to a 9, I think there's just some really small adjustments that need to be made. It's not really anything big that they need to do to bump this up to a 9 or a 10 for me. So I think it's very close to being a lot higher of a score. But yeah, for now I'll give it an 8.
All right, so there you have it. That's our review of Storybook Dining at Artist Point Wilderness Lodge. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you next time. Thanks, folks.